Hey everyone, Dark Dragoon here with a special mod spotlight of Mystcraft version 0.10.x. So, as many of you probably have realized, Mystcraft updated just a few days ago, and it is drastically changed, and is very different than probably what everyone's used to. So because of that, I had a request from a viewer to go over it, and after some thinking, I decided it would be best for me to explain it in a spotlight format, rather than trying to fumble through it in my Let's Play world. Obviously not really having the infrastructure in place to, get these symbols and do all this random stuff. So, without further ado, here it is. So, just like in any other mod, Mystcraft now basically has a few things you need to get started. And just like before, you still need your writing desk, which you guys have seen hopefully in my Let's Play. But now you need a new block called a bookbinder, and there it is. And the recipes for the writing desk are here. It's pretty much the same, although I believe the glass bottle has changed. It used to be ink, if I recall correctly. And the bookbinder recipe is right here. It's not too bad, just needs a little bit of iron and some wood. No big deal. So once you've got your writing desk and your bookbinder, you're going to need a good amount of leather, and you're going to need a good amount of paper. Without those things, you're really not going to get very far at all. So I'm going to pop this off here because I was doing some testing earlier. Anyway, so once you have yourself some leather and some paper, the first thing you could do is you could just start writing like a random age, just like before. Whereas before you would try to do it like so. Obviously that doesn't work. You're still going to want to make linking books. Do not forget those. There you go. And so to make a random descriptive age is pretty simple. You're going to go into your bookbinder with some leather here, and you're just going to take your paper and right click it into there, and that'll give you a blank page. And you could technically put more pages in. You can really put in as many as you want. And you can also take them out again. Cool. So with a random age, really the more than one blank page isn't really going to be necessary. So, but I'll just put them in there just to get rid of them basically. So that done, let's go ahead and pull this out of here. And we'll pop it onto our lectern. See, age 4. I'm going to actually just destroy that age. And I've got my linking book. Make sure you have that, otherwise you're going to be in a little bit of trouble. So let's go check out this world and see what happens. It is black. Obviously, we don't know what's in this world. It has been unspawned. So okay, here we are in our new age. I'm going to turn off that. Oh, we have really bad instability. Look at that. Slowness, weakness, nausea. Oh, the nausea is horrible. I'm going to try to slap down a book stand before you guys and before I and all of you throw up. So let's get out of here before it's too late. So here we go. Back in our world, trying to stave off the effects of nausea. I'm going to try to stare at something so that the whole world isn't wobbling about. So there you go, that was a random age, and just like before, if you make random ages, you're going to get instability, and it's probably not going to work very well. Keep in mind too that still just like before, any random age or improperly written age may produce instability. So keep that in mind. You gotta make sure you're writing them properly. So and the next step that we're going to take is that if you want to actually start writing stable ages and be able to write your own worlds, you're going to have to find a village. Pretty much you're going to need to find a village sort of like this one. Right now we are in a green hills, but I think you're going to be more likely to find the Mystcraft villagers in desert and plains biomes. I don't think it's necessarily that's the only place they will, but they'll spawn, but I think it's more common for them too. So if you find a villager, you can see I've been testing around with these guys, and these guys obviously don't have anything to sell me because I've already bought all their stuff, but you can at least see very simply that the villagers will sell you symbol pages for emeralds. So a little bit expensive, a little difficult to get, because emeralds are not exactly easy unless you're lucky enough to be near an extreme hills early on. So here's a villager who actually does seem to have some pages, so it's kind of expensive, but we're going to go ahead and buy his page from him. And pretty much sometimes they'll only have one, usually they'll only have one, but hopefully over time you can see a little sparkling effect. He should have a new page. He does. So we can take that page from him as well. And then of course he'll be out. So pretty much what you'll want to do is just keep an eye on your villagers. Whenever they get a sparkly effect, they're going to have a new page for you. And that's pretty much how you're going to get all your symbols. You have to purchase them from these guys, which is a little, I don't know, it's a little difficult, but I mean, particularly finding these guys and then having the emeralds, that's a little pricey, but that's pretty much how it works now. So that done, now that you've got yourself a mess of symbols, you can see I obviously have been just getting a bunch of different symbols in here just to play around with. You might be wondering, okay, so now I've got some symbols, how do I start writing books? Well, that's not too bad. First thing we're going to need is we're going to need a crafting table real quick. I'm going to pull this stuff out of here, put that there, and we're going to need some leather. There we go. And if we just put these in here in a sort of V pattern, like so, we're going to get ourselves a notebook. Different recipe than you guys are probably used to. Now, if you take your notebook, you can see I've already gotten myself a Creative Spawn notebook here, just so that I have all the symbols for demonstration purposes. You'll notice that this notebook can also go in here on the side, and you can actually put a ton of different notebooks in here. You can name your notebooks, etc. But this one is empty. So if we want to start adding pages to this notebook, let's just grab a couple. Oh, why don't we just grab just biomes? So let's go through here and find biomes. Birch forest, jungle, jungle hills, huge biomes. Okay, so if we click on our notebook over here, you can see it's blank. We can basically start taking our pages that we got from villagers and just dropping them right over here into the notebook. Cool, I'm just going to add all of these in here. And I believe there's a way, yes, you can sort them. I just hit the middle mouse click and that sorted them for me. And it will, I believe, sort them alphabetically. It does look alphabetically. Cool. So there you go. Now that we have a bunch of pages in this notebook, we could grab this thing, put it here, and we can see all the pages that are in it, right? Or we can put it on our hotbar, and we can right-click it, and we'll be able to easily see all of our pages inside. Pretty simple. As I said, the Creative Spawn notebook, which you can get by putting it on creative mode here, and searching for the Creative Spawn notebook under the Mystcraft tab, you can see it has all the pages ever. Lots of pages. Okay, so let's say you want to actually start writing books, right? So if we were to, let's see, which of our notebooks, I'm going to drop our Creative Spawn notebook back right here. And I'm going to grab, was it this one? Yes. I'm just going to grab that and I'm going to drop it right here. And you can see those are all the pages there. Now, let's say, alright, let's grab a blank notebook and put that there. You can see there's nothing in it. Let's say we want to start putting some stuff into this notebook for use for later for writing our own age. So we can basically take pages from over here and I'm trying to remember how to do this. One second. Okay, I've got it worked out. Basically, when we've got our notebook over here with our pages in it, we put a notebook here and we just start right-clicking. It'll start adding our biomes to it. Cool. Obviously, this probably isn't going to turn out to be a very well-written age because we're not really making. I'm not really trying to make a well-written age. I'm just sort of trying to show you guys how to move symbols and copy them into a different book. Obviously, you need paper, and it's going to use ink. So, if our notebook is here, you can see we pretty much are going to copy those pages right into the notebook. Pretty simple. If we don't put a book here and just leave it blank and we just start right-clicking, we can pretty much copy our symbols here onto blank pages that you can give to your friends if you're on a multiplayer server, or you can hold on to it and be able to have your pages stored in a chest or whatever you want. So that done, if we take our pages now and put them in here, obviously you can use a notebook to put all the pages you wrote into the notebook right here. That's how you're going to get your descriptive book. So I'm going to grab a few things and, well, actually, let's basically just write a bunch of stuff into a blank notebook. Let's see. I believe this one is blank. Yes. Pretty much just has a blank page in it, which is fine. So we're just going to take this notebook and let's see here. There's, like I said, there's a ton of different stuff, so it's a little overwhelming. So real quick, I'm going to just sort of plop some of these in here, and when I come back, we'll check out what I came up with. Alright, so I think I've got myself, well, enough of a descriptive book here. I've pretty much just put a bunch of symbols into a notebook, and I'm going to explain a little bit about modifiers now. Basically now, Mystcraft is designed around the idea that there are almost like adjective-noun pages. So the modifiers are going to be your adjectives. So for example, and this is how you're pretty much going to want to write your stuff. So for example, our first set of things is to define the biomes, okay? So we're going with a birch forest, beach, tiled biomes. Basically, beach and the birch forest biome are the modifiers to the biome controller, which in this case we're using tiled, which I haven't actually tested out yet, but I'm assuming is going to look something like the old checkerboard biomes. We'll find that out pretty soon. So moving right along, we also have something like our sky color defined. Basically, to make it, we're going to have it be black, sky color. It makes a little bit of, I think it makes a lot of sense if you look at it like adjective noun, and that's how you want to write it. That way you always are going to use the page that is descriptive first, followed by the page that is sort of just the thing that you're doing. And again, I'm doing the same thing, and honestly I'm not sure how this is going to turn out. I'm going to test this, but we're going to find it out together. In this case, with our sun is defined as red and setting, so we have a red setting sun. Makes sense, right? And then these last four, they're not really modifiers. They are just a bunch of different things that define things like our terrain, our lighting, our stars in the sky, and our moon. So yeah, so basically we're going to test this out as is and see how it goes. I'm just going to keep this stuff separated just as sort of a visual cue. So to get this thing actually turned into an age, we're going to take our notebook and just right click. Oh, wait, it was this one, I think. Yeah, there we go. And we're going to get our descriptive book. Cool. So let's go ahead and get ourselves a linking book just to be safe. And then we're going to pop our descriptive book onto here. Make sure we have our linking book, and let's go check out what we just made. See how things go. Alright, looks like we do have poison in this world, which isn't great. There's obviously some instability, but it looks like it gave us exactly what we wanted to. I think my helmet might be saving me from the poison, but let me just throw this down real quick. Gravitation engine is on. Let's just have a look around. Alright, we can definitely see we got a black sky. And yeah, we got our tiled biomes. That's working properly. It's a beach and a birch forest. It looks like we have a setting sun somewhere, probably over there. It looks like it might have worked. So yeah, obviously there's lots of other qualities that we missed. Things like our clouds and that sort of thing. So if I were to go back, let's see if our... Ooh, that poison hurts. Let's take a look. I'm wondering... Is this poison going to go away? There we go. I'm wondering what happens if we put this thing, our descriptive book, right here. Alright, we're going to be able to see everything that filled in. So I'm wondering, okay, it looks like it's just showing us what we specifically put in. So it's actually not telling us what we missed or what we did weird in order to make it be unstable. But needless to say, hopefully you guys can sort of get a vague gist of exactly how this works. It seems a bit more complicated than it really is. It really just comes down to getting pages and then putting those pages into a book, and then those pages defining what world you're going to. So yeah, I think I'm gonna maybe get together enough to put together another age just so we can play around with it, and I'll be back. Alright, so I am back, and I've got myself a new age put together here. We're going to see how this works. Basically, I'm just spreading some things out. You can see we're going to do a wasteland single biome with black sky, black cloud color, red normal sun, dark moon, dark stars, standard terrain, standard lighting, and eternal rain. We're just going to see how this goes. So we're going to take our notebook, of course, pop it in there, get our descriptive book, and go check it out. Make sure, real quick, make sure you always have your linking book, otherwise you're going to be really upset about it. See what happens. Okay, we did get, looks to be a stable world. That's interesting. I don't see the sun, which is strange, but we did end up with a stable world. Cool. I'm just going to throw down this. So you might be wondering, alright, once I have a descriptive age written, can I modify it? Well, the answer is yes and no. So obviously we made a fairly stable age here, right? And that's all fine and good, but what if we hadn't? What if we liked the general sort of gist of what we put together, but it didn't turn out exactly like we wanted? Well, using our writing book, we can put our age back into the book, and using a blank notebook, we could just start all over again. And obviously it would give us a new age, but it would still give us generally some things that we would recognize. So if I were to put this in here and then pull the descriptive book out, you could see we'd have a bunch of stuff. Cool. And I'll go ahead and do that. Whatever. So there you guys go. That's only just the beginning of the limits of what you can do with this. It's pretty complicated in terms of the number of different symbols and combinations you can do, but realistically that's pretty much there for you just to sort of play around with and experiment. That's kind of the idea. So yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this mod spotlight for Mystcraft version 0.10.x. Hope you guys, if you have any questions, any further questions about how any of this works, please feel free to put them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer them. So yeah, so until next time, this has been Dr. Goon's Mod Spotlight of Mystcraft. Hopefully you guys enjoyed and learned something, and well, I'll just have to catch you guys later.